Hi, I'm Dr. Tim Weir, and I gotta tell you, I love life. But when I'm not being a husband, a father, a grandfather, an author, or a practicing chiropractor, I'm the host of the television show Loving Life with Dr. Tim Weir. I love to cook. I love to travel. I like to spend time with people who do what they love and love what they do. Join me and Elvis for the next 30 minutes as we help you discover how to love life. I love creative people. I love country music people because of their love of country, our country, and their stand on family and life. And I'm with country legend, Nikki Nelson.
Hi.
I'm so glad you're here with me
Legend.
today.
Wow.
Well, yes.
No pressure there.
No.
I'm glad to be here with you.
Well,
it's nice to see you.
Don't you love life?
Absolutely. I do love life.
How did all of this start?
All of this.
Take it all the way back.
All the way back? All the way back to like my mother and father when they met, and they married young, and Dad was in the service. He was in the Army. He had a tough gig. He was in the military band, and he came home from the Army. And when my brother and I were little, he taught us some songs that Mom did not appreciate.
Good ones.
Yeah, those are the ones I only do once in a while.
So did he sing and play?
He did. He played guitar. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He taught me how to play guitar when I was I think I started when I was around 12. And he loved rock and roll, but my mother loved country music. And so I got a little bit of both while I was growing up. And I have just always really, really loved traditional country music. So fast forward to today, I've been with Highway 101 for way too many years, more years than I want to admit. Do I have to?
No.
I don't have to. Oh, good. And I love that. I've sort of grown up with those guys, with Cactus Mosier and Curtis Stone.
Both great guys.
Terrific guys. You won't find better guys than them. I love them very much.
And there is volumes to speak of that stability for so many years.
It's true.
So you mentioned playing the guitar. So I play the keyboard, and the only thing I can do is play by ear.
Yes.
So
same here. I never learned to read music. And I only play well enough to get myself in trouble.
Wow.
How about you? Do you play better than that?
I play by ear, and that's it.
I love that.
Looks like little dots on music when
Yeah.
I don't know what those things are.
I don't know how to read music.
That's so cool.
I think so.
So out of all the gigs that you've done, what stands out in your mind?
I think the ones where some of my favorites were like the festival shows where there's all kinds of artists, and you get to it's sort of like a brotherhood, you know, with the ones where there's a lot of people on the show are usually my favorites. We opened for Merle Haggard a couple times, and we've done shows with Willie Nelson, and you know, anytime that we got to do a show with one of my heroes was, you know, awesome.
Did you get to spend time with them then? Or?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were always very gracious and would, you know, ask us on the bus or, you know, take time out and spend some time with us. Not a lot of time, but, you know, enough to really excite us, you know.
Well, and I think it's those guys who are probably humble enough to reach out and talk to other people.
Oh, yeah.
and share.
Oh, yeah, definitely. They set the groundwork for everybody else that's fortunate enough to be doing it still.
Hey, we're on the set of Nikki Nelson's new music video, Union Bound. Don't change your channel because we'll be right back.
Just because you're in an accident but didn't ride in one of these doesn't mean that you didn't get injured.
Hello, I'm Dr. Tim Weir, and after 35 years in practice, I can tell you a lot of times an injury doesn't show up for 2 to 3 days after an accident. So if you've been in an accident, don't delay any further. Call my office today.
Raleigh Spine and Injury Chiropractic. Just when you thought nobody cared. Call Call 790-1332 right now.
Uptown Pictures is a full-service script-to-screen production company which can help you create the proper messaging for any number of applications. With spacious state-of-the-art studio offering green screen, mocap, and practical stages, along with a team of professionals who will make you and your business shine. So what are you waiting for? Call us at 919-649-3587 and schedule your appointment today. It's time we put your imagination into motion.
So, you are in the middle of a project with Union Bound.
That's right. Very exciting project. It's a great movie. It's set in the Civil War, based on truth, and it's an amazing story, and I'm thrilled to be a part of it. It really has sort of inspired me to write again, and so I have written a couple songs for it.
How do you write?
Well, I try to come up with an idea. For example, the first song that I wrote for this project is called Union Bound, and I wanted to kind of come up with something from a mother's point of view. You know, I've got 3 boys, and I have always dreaded if they would have to go to war. I just think about that, I worry about it. So I was just thinking, you know, if my boys were going off to war, how would I feel about that? And that's where the idea started.
Sure.
And then you know, plunk around by ear on your guitar or your keyboard and kind of come up with a melody and, you know, start rhyming words and see where it goes. That's how I do it.
Well,
I don't really have a formula.
Yeah, but if that were the only formula, if that were the only thing, then Sally Joe sitting over here could sit down and do it. You're plugging into a stream of creativity.
That's right. And everybody's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You know, I saw an interview the other day with who was that? With somebody, but it was about Loretta Lynn. And what they said about her writing was that she writes completely backwards. And I was thinking about that because they didn't explain that. And I thought, backwards from what? I wonder what that meant. Maybe I write backwards from
does she start
somebody
with the
else.
end or something? Or, yeah. You have had to have so much fun hanging around these people.
Oh, yeah. The fun never stops. Pranks galore. One time we were playing in Las Vegas with the Oak Ridge Boys, and we opened the show. We were playing at Bally's in Vegas, and I think we were there for a week. And there were more pranks that week.
Oh, wow.
The grand finale, though, was the Oak Ridge Boys bought a gross of ping pong balls, and they had them suspended in the air with a net over Cactus's drum set. And at one point during one of his solos, they dropped all those ping pong balls on top of him, and they just went everywhere on that huge stage. There was all kinds of funny things. We roller skated across Cactus and I roller skated across the stage in the middle of one of their songs once, and it's always fun. So much fun.
We have 90 years at the most, 100 at the most, years to live.
Yeah.
And it's important just to jam pack it full of
Absolutely.
life.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we sometimes tend to spend too much time worrying about the past or worrying about the future, and we miss what's happening right now. I try to stay present, aware as much as I can. And when your kids start growing, and our oldest is on the road himself. He's out on the road playing drums with an artist, and boy, it goes fast. Whew.
Real fast.
Lickety split.
Yeah. Thank you for being with me.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
You're
Thank
awesome.
you.
Don't change your channel. We'll be right back. One of my favorite stories in the Bible is when Jesus is out walking on the water. The disciples are in the boat. And Jesus says to Peter, "Peter, come and walk towards me." And as Peter stepped out onto the water, he was actually walking on the water, but then a storm brewed and just came up out of nowhere, and Peter started to sink. And basically the moral of that story is this. When you're out walking on the water, the intention is to walk on the water. But what we tend to do in life is to do this. We tend to get our minds off of what we're intending and onto the circumstances around us. Storms have nothing to do with anything on walking in the water. If you're going to walk on the water, whether there's a storm or not, that really doesn't matter. What matters is the intention of what you're planning to do. And when you get your mind off of your focus, whether that's a job, a position, or your family, whatever that intention is, when you get your mind off of it and onto the storms around you, that's when you begin to sink. So make sure that your intention is where you need it to be. If you're intending to be a success in business, then set your intention on success in business. And when things come up around you that are going to try to pull your attention away, try to pull your focus away, you've got to set your mind on the focus of where you want to be. Set your intention on where you want to be. Don't worry about all the small things of how you're going to get there. Set your intention there, and you're going to get there. This thing called life, loving life, is wonderful. So join me as I love life together with you. We set our intentions on success, health, happiness, and let's just enjoy life.
Uptown Pictures is a full-service script-to-screen production company which can help you create the proper messaging for any number of applications, with spacious state-of-the-art studio offering green screen, mocap, and practical stages, along with a team of professionals who will make you and your business shine. So what are you waiting for? Call us at 919-649-3587 and schedule your appointment today. It's time we put your imagination into motion.
Hey, we're on the set of Nikki Nelson's new music video, Union Bound.
There's a price to pay for a mother's love. There's a price for liberty. When a son goes off to war, we learn freedom isn't free. And where some will see an army, I will see 1,000 sons. There are prayers that must be whispered for the man he must become. Should you fall upon the battlefield, should you feel the cloak of death, if 100 men lie dying, will I feel your final breath? Can a mother's prayers be answered? Can the strength I need be found? There's a love that can't be broken for the son that's union bound. Will you leave my side a young boy and return a broken man? Will you fight beside your brothers and defend this precious land? Should you fall upon the battlefield, should you feel the cloak of death, if 100 men lie dying, will I feel your final breath? Can a mother's prayers be answered? Can the strength I need be found? There's a love that can't be broken for the son that's union bound. Whether blue or gray, black or white, the blood still spills the same. And while some will leave those haunted fields, some forever shall remain. Should you fall upon the battlefield, should you feel the cloak of death, if 100 men lie dying, will I feel your final breath? Can a mother's prayers be answered? Can the strength I need be found? There's a love that can't be broken for the son that's union bound.
Don't change your channel because we'll be right back.
I've been in an accident and I don't have insurance. I don't know what to do.
I was in an accident and I don't have insurance. Now what am I going to do?
Hi, this is Dr. Tim Weir, and if you've been in an accident but you don't have health insurance, it's okay. We accept third-party liens. That means we'll wait for the insurance company to pay us. So if you've been in an accident, call us today.
Raleigh Spine and Injury Chiropractic. Just when you thought nobody cared. Call 790-1332 right now.
Uptone Pictures is a full-service script-to-screen production company which can help you create the proper messaging for any number of applications, with spacious state-of-the-art studio offering green screen, mocap, and practical stages, along with a team of professionals who will make you and your business shine. So what are you waiting for? Call us at 919-649-3587 and schedule your appointment today. It's time we put your imagination into motion.
You know, one of the most important attributes you can have in your life is an attitude of gratitude or thankfulness. I always tell people this: your attitude of gratitude determines your altitude in life. I'm always amazed by people who say, I want more money, I want more money, I want more money. And then when God starts shoving money your way, you kind of look the other way and you're not grateful for it. I've taught my kids, my little boys, every time they see a nickel or a dime or a penny on the ground, pick it up and say, thank you, God. Because as you're asking for money, God keeps throwing a little money your way, and you look at it and say, oh, it's just a penny, I don't need a penny. And all of a sudden, God's looking at you and saying, well, I thought he wanted money. Always have an attitude of gratitude. When's the last time you looked at your husband or your wife and said, thank you for all the stuff that you do around the house, or thank you for your job that you do, for providing for the family? When's the last time you told your boss, hey, thank you so much for providing a great place for me to work. I love my job, I love this place, thank you. One of the greatest things that you have in your life is that ability to say thanks. Look for opportunities today. Even get a yellow pad or a piece of notebook paper and write down what I'm thankful for. And begin to list them, even if you have to start with something as simple as the shoes I'm wearing, or the clothes I'm wearing, or the house I live in, or the car that I drive, or living in one of the greatest countries in the world, the United States of America. Write it down. And as you do that, you're going to see your life change. As you begin to be grateful for where you are, for what you have right now, God's going to move on your behalf. The whole universe is going to move on your behalf and take you to another level. Your attitude of gratitude determines your altitude. Hey, I'm glad you're joining me today. I've got a great guest with me, Tonya Baker Nelson. She's with Hand of Hope Pregnancy Centers. Tonya, thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, tell me a little bit about what you do.
So the main thing we do is we come alongside a man and a woman who are in the middle of making a pregnancy decision, share Jesus Christ with them, tell them about the sanctity of that precious little baby that they're carrying, and regardless of the decision they make, get up and do it all again tomorrow.
Okay. So, I mean, that's kind of broad. So somebody's coming in trying to decide whether they want to keep a child or not.
Correct.
Okay.
A lot of times. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I come from, our family has 4 adopted children.
Oh.
So I know exactly what you're talking about, and I know exactly what the mother and father go through when they say, we don't want this baby.
Right.
So basically you're giving them an alternative.
Correct. So our big draw is we offer free pregnancy testing to the community and also free ultrasounds to the community.
Wow.
Yeah. So because a picture's worth 1,000 words, and we just want to make sure that that mom and that dad are able to see their little baby on an ultrasound and hopefully choose life. They don't always choose life, but you know, the vast majority of the time they do. So we just want to walk alongside them as they're making this pregnancy decision.
Right.
And tell them that, you know, abortion is not their only option. They can indeed choose life and choose to become parents.
So when you talk to people, because there's a climate of all, you know, people who have abortions are all bad and going to hell and all that kind of stuff. That's not where you're coming from.
No.
You're coming from the standpoint of there's this thing that you can do, or there's this alternative, and you're really helping them facilitate adoption.
Right.
And that.
Right, right. So North Carolina is what's called a women's right to know state, which means she has to be given medically accurate information about the abortion procedure itself, you know, the risks associated with that, and also other options that are available to her, which are parenting and parenting through adoption. So North Carolina has a mandatory 72-hour wait period, so the vast majority of the time we get those young moms and those young dads right there when they're making that pregnancy decision. We sit down and talk to them, explain to them exactly the choices that they have to make, and let them know, hey, we cannot live your life for you. We're not trying to live your life for you. We want you to know that there are other choices available except, aside from abortion. If she chooses to abort her child, that is her legal right to do that.
Sure.
What we say to them all the time is you are welcome here regardless of the choice you make, because that is exactly who Jesus Christ is to every one of us. He welcomes us regardless of the choices we make. He just wants to have a relationship with us. And so we introduce them to Christ, sometimes for the very first time. Sometimes we reintroduce him to them. So they know. You know, our biggest pat on the back is when we meet that woman who is making her decision and she comes back, even if she's chosen to terminate her pregnancy, she comes back to see us and she brings her friends with her and says, here, help her the way you helped me.
Wow.
So we want to make sure that they know that we're not monetarily invested in you. The decision you choose to make about your baby has nothing to do with our bottom line. That's why all our services are completely free. We want to invest in you because you're a created human being in the image of God, just like that baby is.
Sure.
So you're welcome to come back anytime.
Wow.
And they do that. I mean, we see women all the time. We see men all the time who did choose to terminate their pregnancies, and 3-4 years later they pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm having a little bit of a problem with this. You know, do you have time to talk? And we're like, absolutely.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
That's
yeah.
pretty cool.
They know the difference.
Yeah.
They know that we are invested in them as human beings.
So that's that side of the picture. You got the mother, the father, whoever that's making the decision. This side of the picture, I'm sure that there are people who would like to get involved in helping that.
Yes, we are a nonprofit, so we run a lot of our services based on our life coaches that come in and volunteer their time for us. Obviously, we do have a nurse on staff, and we do have a medical director and OBGYN. So there are paid positions, but we also operate multiple of our services are given because of men and women who have a heart to just want to volunteer and meet these people right where they are.
And it's not somebody you just throw in. I'm assuming you have this training program that they go through and all that kind of stuff.
It's very much a vetting process too, and it's very much, we give you a lot of training. You have to go through a classroom type study, a DVD study, and then an apprenticeship. So it takes you a little while to sit down and talk to her. We just want to make sure that everybody is communicating the same message.
Sure.
And everybody is coming from a straight, strong heart of, we're invested in you as a human being, regardless of the choice you make.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
And people can, because it's a nonprofit, people can actually contact you as far as donations and all that kind of stuff.
Right, yes. Because in our program, if those parents do choose to parent their child, we have a life skills program, and that couple can stay enrolled in that life skills program for about 3 years. So we walk through the pregnancy with them, and then through the infant stage, and then sometimes through the toddler stage. So
that's really cool, because it's not just adoption or abortion. If you want to keep the baby, we're going to help you figure out how to be parents and all that kind of stuff.
Right, exactly.
Wow, how awesome.
So those
Can I
parents
take that
come in.
class?
Yes,
I have
an 11-month-old, and I have actually watched some of the DVDs lately, because you forget some of this stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, the classes, when they take the classes, not only are they learning information about how to be a parent and how to discipline your child, and safety, things like that. The SIDS class is amazingly good. They're also earning material, things like cribs and strollers and car seats. We want to make it as, ease the financial aspect of becoming a new parent. We want to ease that burden as much as we possibly can.
How cool is that?
So it's
that
awesome.
Is amazing.
It's great. We love our people.
That is so
we
cool.
love our people.
Thank you for being with me.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Listen, if you want to get a hold of her, here's the website right here. Get a hold of them. Make a difference. If you want to volunteer, if you want to donate some money, or if you got some questions that you would like answered, contact them today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Listen, go to our website, www.drtimweir.com. Look at all of our stuff on there, and then leave me a little note. Tell me you're watching. Tell me where you live, because this goes all over the country. I want to know where you're watching. Keep loving life. That's what it's all about. Until next time, I'll see you then. Hey, we're on the set of Nikki Nelson's new music video. Glad you're joining me today. I've got a great guest. My mind just went blank. Tonya. One of my favorite things is a story in the Bible that talks about Jesus being in the boat with some of the disciples, and never mind. Yeah, I would do some drugs and alcohol too.